In this video, we'll go through exam questions that cover the criteria order, add, subtract and compare amounts or quantities using proper and improper fractions and mixed numbers. You can locate the questions on the mathsmaths.com website under Level 2. The questions come from different exam boards. We'll start with the non-calculated questions and then we'll move to the calculated questions. Here is the first one. Ola will run from her house to a local park and back to her house. She sees this sketch of the route she will take. What is the total distance of the route Ola will run? Give your answer as a mixed number. You must show your working. So, from the house to the park, that is 1¼ miles. And from the park back to her house, that is 2 3/8. As we need to work out the total distance, we're going to add the two together. We got to give our answer as a mixed number, so whole number and then fraction. So I'm going to leave these two whole numbers out for now, because we can easily just add them. 1 and 2 gives us 3. So we can do that right at the end. But for now, I'm going to add 1/4 and 3/8. Finding a common denominator for both, because at the moment they're split into different sizes of slices, or different number of slices if you like. So I'm going to convert them so that both of them have 8 at the bottom, the same denominator. This one doesn't need changing because it's already with an 8 at the bottom, so we can keep it like that. So we're just doubling both of the numbers for this fraction. So we've doubled 4 to get 8, so we're going to double 1 to get 2. So now we can easily add 2 and 3, that is 5. So 5/8 is the total for these two fractions. And we've got 1 and 2, which makes 3. So 3 and 5/8 will be the answer. Work out 4/5 take away 3/8. So we're looking to convert the two fractions so they both have a common denominator. So a number that is a multiple of 5 and 8. What does that mean? So a number that you can fit both 5 and 8 into without any remainders for both of them. And the easiest way to do that would be to multiply 5 by 8, which is 40. Because 5 fits into 40 8 times, no remainder. 8 fits into 40 5 times, no remainder. So we're taking away. Now to get from 5 to 40, we multiply by 8. So we'll do the same to the top number, which is a 4. So 4 times 8, that is 32. To get from 8 to 40, we multiplied by 5. So we're going to do 3 times 5, that is 15. So 32 now, take away 15, gives us 17. So that's our answer. 17/40. Knitting needles are long, thin cylinders with a point at one or both ends. The size of a knitting needle is the diameter of the cylinder in millimeters. For example, these needles have a diameter of 2¼ millimeters. So that's the diameter, 2¼ millimeters for both of them. Calculate the difference in diameter between 6½ millimeters and 3¾ millimeters needles. Give your answer as a mixed number. There are different ways you could do this. The easiest way, perhaps, for me, that would be to convert this into decimal and this into decimal. So that's 6.5, and we have 3¾ so that is 3.75. So take that away, have a 0 here. So we're taking away 5 from a 0, which means we've got to borrow 1 here. So that becomes a 4, and this becomes 10. So 10 take away 5 gives us 5, and we've got to take away 7 from the 4, which means we've got to borrow 1 here now. So this becomes 5, and this becomes 14. So 14 take away 7 gives us 7. 5 take away 3 gives us 2. So 2.75. 2, that's 2 whole ones. And 0.75, that is 3/4. So 2¾ would be the answer. But of course, there are different ways to work this out. You could convert this into a fraction and this into a fraction, take away, and then convert into a mixed number. You could look at fractions only and then do the working out combined with the whole numbers. So whichever way you prefer is absolutely fine, but I think the easiest would be to convert them into decimals and then convert the answer into a mixed number. The employees looked at the office plans and held a vote on which office they prefer. A third voted for office A. 2/5 said they did not mind which office was chosen. The rest voted for office B. What fraction of employees voted for office B? So we have a third and 2/5. Let's work out the total for these two. So finding a common denominator, that will be 15, because 3 times 5 is 15. To get from 3 to 15, multiply by 5, so do the same to the top number. 1 times 5 gives us 5. To get from 5 to 15, multiply by 3, so we do the same to the top number. 2 times 3 gives us 6. 5 and 6, that is 11, so 11/15. So the total, including all these three, that would be 15/15. 1 whole, 100%, or 1 as a decimal. So if I take away 11/15, which is these two, that should give me the difference, which is the last one for office B. So 15 take away 11 gives me 4, so 4/15. Jessie is the manager of a shopping centre. She knows that 3/5 of the shops sell clothes, 1/8 of the shops sell electronic goods, all of the other shops sell food. What fraction of the shops sell food? So we've got 3/5, and we're going to add 1/8 to give us the total for these two. Common denominator for both, that can be 40, because 5 times 8 is 40. To get from 5 to 40, multiply by 8, so we do the same to the top number. 3 times 8, which is 24. To get from 8 to 40, multiply by 5, so 1 times 5 gives us 5. 24 and 5, that is 29, so 29 40ths. So the total for all three, that will be 40 40ths. Take away 29 40ths, that gives us 11 40ths. So we've got to add 2 1/2 and 3 3/4. Okay, so let's add the fractions first. Half and 3/4. Common denominator can be 4 itself, so this remains the same, and we double the 2 to get to 4, so we're going to double the 1 as well. 1 times 2 is 2, so that is 5/4. 5/4, that is 1 1/4. So if we add 2 and 3, that is 5, and the 1 we have here, so that's going to be 6 1/4, which is option C. Half, take away 2 7ths. Give your answer in its simplest form. So a common denominator would be 14. To get from 2 to 14, we multiply it by 7. So we'll do the same to the top number. 1 times 7 gives us 7. To get from 7 to 14, we've multiplied by 2. So we'll do the same to the 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So 7 take away 4 gives us 3. So 3/14. Can we divide any further? Can we divide both numbers by 3 and have no remainders? No. Can we divide both numbers by 14 and have no remainders? No. So this is the simplest version, or the simplest form of the fraction. (11/8) take away 1/16. So common denominator for both can be 16. 8 times 2 gives us 16, so 11 times 2 is 22. And this fraction doesn't need changing, so 22 take away 1 gives us 21. So 21/16. So if I take away 16 from the 21, that leaves me with 5. So it's 1 and 5/16, which is option C. Which one of the following works out to the largest number? So 3/4 times 8. So 3/4 times 8, which is also 3/4 of 8. So you could do it both ways, either way. So I could just go through the multiplication route, because we've got multiplication here. So 3/4 times 8, 8 wholes, that's 8 ones. So we write it as 8/1. Multiplying the fractions means we multiply the top numbers, which gives us 24. Multiply the bottom numbers, which gives us 4. 24/4, that is going to be equal to 6. So it's like 24 divided by 4. Looking at the second one, we've got 2/6 times 12. So 2 times 12, that is 24. 6 times 1, that is 6. So 24 divided by 6 gives us 4. Third one, so 3 halves times 10. 3 times 10, that is 30. 2 times 1, that is 2. 30 divided by 2 gives us 15. 3 twelfths times 36. So 3 times 36. 3 times 6, that is 18. So 8 down, 1 carried over. 3 times 3 is 9, and the 1, that is 10. So it's 108 divided by 12. So how many 12s would fit into 108? Got 12 and 12, which is 24. 24 and 24, which gives us 48. So we've got 4 lots of 12, which gives us 48. 48 and 48, that gives us 96. So that is 8 lots. 96, if I add 12 here, 6 and 2, that is 8, and then 1, that is 10. So that is 9 lots of 12. So 108 divided by 12 should give us 9. To make this whole process for the last fraction easier, you probably noticed that 3 twelfths, that is the same as 1 quarter, dividing both numbers by 3. So it would have been much easier to use a quarter instead. So we'd do 1 times 36 gives us 36, 4 times 1 is 4, so 36 divided by 4 gives us 9. But I went through the long way just so that you can see the difference between the two methods as well. So now we've got the answers. This is equal to 6, this is 4, this is 15, and this is 9. The question was, which one of the following works out to the largest number? The largest is 15. So that's third option, option C. You volunteer for a charity that provides clothing. You are sending a shipment. 1/6 of the items are jackets, 2/5 of the items are trousers, the remainder are tops. What fraction of the items are tops? Show you working out and write the answer in the box below. So we've got 1/6 and 2/5. Common denominator can be 30. To get from 6 to 30, we multiply by 5. So we'll do the same to the top number. 1 times 5 gives us 5. To get from 5 to 30, we multiply by 6. So we do the same to the top number. 2 times 6 gives us 12. 5 and 12, that is 17. 17 thirtieths. So 30 thirtieths would be the total for all 3. Taking away 17 thirtieths, which is these 2, will give us the remainder. So 30 take away 17 gives us 13. 13 thirtieths, that's for the tops. You work for Highfield Advertising and Promotions. You're sending out new promotional material to customers. 1/3 are leaflets, 2/5 are brochures, the remainder are catalogues. What fraction of the promotional material are catalogues? So we've got 1/3 and 2/5. Common denominator can be 15. So to get from 3 to 15, we multiply it by 5. Do the same to the top number. So 1 times 5 gives us 5. To get from 5 to 15, we multiply by 3. So we do the same to the top number. 2 times 3, that is 6. So adding these two together gives us 11 15ths. So 15 15ths, which is the total for all 3, take away 11 15ths, which is the total for these 2, gives us the remainder. 15 take away 11 is 4, so 4 15ths is the answer. The table below shows the distances walked by J each day in a week. Got day of week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Distance walked, we've got 1.5 miles for Monday, 3/4 miles for Tuesday, half a mile for Wednesday, third of a mile for Thursday, third of a mile for Friday, 3/4 for Saturday, and 0 miles on Sunday. What was the total distance J walked over the whole week? Show your calculations and the workings out here. So we're going to add all of these fractions and mixed numbers together. Doesn't matter which one we add with which, as long as we have a total at the end. So I'm going to group them in a way that's going to help me calculate. So 1.5 and a half, that's going to be 2 miles. So we've done these two. Now we've got 3/4 and 3/4, which is 6/4, which is 1 and 2/4, which is 1.5. We have a third and a third, which is 2/3. So 2 miles and a mile, that is 3 miles. Now we've got a half and 2/3. Common denominator for both can be 6. To get from 2 to 6 we multiply by 3, so we do the same to the top number. 1 times 3 gives us 3. To get from 3 to the 6 we multiply by 2, so 2 times 2 gives us 4. So that is 7/6, which is more than 1 mile because 6/6 would be a mile. So 7/6 take away 6/6 gives us 1/6. So we can say that this is 4 miles and 1/6 of a mile. Put these fractions in order of size, smallest to largest. So we've got 4/3, 3/4, 3/8, 5/8, 7/6. Show your calculations and the workings out here. So looking at these fractions carefully, 4/3, that's more than 1. So that'll be 1 and 1/3. Also, 7/6 would be more than 1. So this would be kind of the largest ones. Looking at the other 3 fractions, 3/4, that is more than half, less than 1 but more than half. 3/8, that is less than half because half would be 4/8. 5/8 is more than half. So then only one that is less than half is 3/8. So practically this is the smallest of them all. Then it would be one of these two. either 3/4 or 5/8. Let's have a look. Quarter and eighth. Common denominator for both can be 8. So to get from 4 to 8, I've doubled, so I'll double the 3 as well, which gives me 6. I've got 8 here, so that means I don't need to change. So which one is the smallest? That's 5/8. So after 3/8 will be 5/8. And then 3/4. Now we've got to decide between 4/3 and 7/6. We can use 6 as a common denominator for both. So to get from 3 to 6 we've doubled, so we'll double the 4 as well, which is 8/6, and we don't need to change this. So smallest one is 7/6, and then we have 8/6, which I should be writing as 4/3 in fact. So I'm going to write the answer here again. So we've got 3/8, 5/8, 3/4, 7/6, and 4/3. From now on we can use a calculator. Kay and Mo are employed by CHAD, which is a charity, linked to a previous question, which isn't here, but the context is not as important. So they are employed as fundraisers. They are given targets. Kay must raise funds of at least 3 2/5 times her salary. Mo must raise funds of at least 10/3 times of his salary. Which is larger, 3 2/5 or 10/3? Show how you decide. As we can use a calculator, I'm gonna leave the 3 to one side, and I'm just going to do 2/5 converted into decimal. So 2 divided by 5, which is 0.4. Add the 3 that we've got, that gives us 3.4. So 3 2/5 is equal to 3.4. 10/3, that is 10 divided by 3, which is 3.33. So this is larger, the first one, 3 2/5. Which one of the following lists is in decreasing order? Decreasing means going down in value. So we've got 315 hundredths. So 315 divided by 100, which is 3.15. We've got 1,500 924s, so that is 1.623. $257s, so 3.5 09 maybe. I'll just round it quickly. And 3 2/7, so 2 7s plus the 3 gives us 3.29. Decreasing, so which one is the highest? So definitely one of the decimals that starts with 3 rather than with the 1. So to decide, we'll look at the second digit. So that's a 1, this is a 5, and this is a 2. The 5 is the highest, that's the highest fraction. So that should be the first in the list, and that's the case for B and C. Looking at the next biggest fraction, and we've got 5 as I said, so now is it 2 or 1? 2 is larger than 1, so this is the next biggest fraction, and that's coming as the second one here. And then we have this one being the third, and this one being the last one. So B has them in the correct order, from the largest to the smallest. 1 and 3/8 plus 3 and 9/16. What's that equal to? The options that we're given are mixed numbers, so using a calculator is not going to help us much here. So what I'm going to do, ignoring the whole numbers to begin with, I'm going to focus on 3/8 and 9/16. So a common denominator for both is going to be 16. To get from 8 to 16, I'd multiply by 2, so I'll multiply the 3 by 2 as well to get 6. To get from 16 to 16, we don't need to do anything, so we'll just put 9 there as well. Don't do anything or multiply by 1, it's the same thing. So adding these two together, 9 and 6, that is 15, so 15/16. And adding now the whole numbers, 1 and 3, that is 4, so 4 and 15/16, which is the last option, option D. Calculate 2 and 5/8 plus 11/16. Give your answer as a mixed number. Show your working out and write the answer in the box below. Again, as we're going to give our answer as a mixed number, we don't really need a calculator. So I'm going to focus on the fractions 5/8 and 11/16. Common denominator can be 16 for both. So to get from 8 to 16 we've doubled, so we need to double the 5 as well to get 10. And the other fraction doesn't need changing. 10 and 11, that is 21. So 21/16. Now that is more than 1, more than a whole. 16/16 would be 1. So if I take away 16 from the 21, that leaves me with 5/16. So this is equal to 1 and 5/16. Now we've got to add the 2 that we have here, the whole number. So 2 and 1, that is 3. So 3 and 5/16 is the answer. Which of the following values is the largest? So we've got 850 thousandths, 2 and 1/9, 7/3, 2 and 7 550ths. Write the answer in the box below. As we can use a calculator, and it's not specified in the answer that we need to give the answer as a fraction or mixed number, I'm just going to use it and convert this into decimal. So 850 divided by 1000 gives us 0.85. 2 and 1/9. So 1/9 first, so 1 divided by 9, add the 2, gives us 2.11. 7/3, so 7 divided by 3 gives us 2.33. And 2 and 7 550ths, so 7 divided by 550 gives us 0.01272 and so on. Add to that the 2, there's 2.01127. which one is the largest. This is definitely the smallest. Then we have 2.11, 2.33, 2.0127. So looking at the first digit doesn't help in this case, so we need to look at the second digit. So that's a 1, that's a 3, and that's a 0. So 3 is the largest. So 7/3 is the largest fraction. Or the largest number, because we've got mixed numbers as well. You're about to set off on a delivery. You're looking at the possible routes and how long each will take. You'll start at your warehouse, go to the delivery point, then return to the warehouse. Considering the traffic forecast for the journey to and from the delivery point, which route will be the fastest? Show your working out and write the answer in the box below. So, route A, 105 minutes. That's regular journey time. It says only 7/9 of regular journey time from the warehouse to delivery point. That's the forecast for the traffic. And then on the way back, that is only 8/9 of regular journey time. So let's just do this one first. So 105, and we're looking at 7/9 of that. 7/9 of 105. So we could do it as 7/9, 7 divided by 9, times 105, which is 81.67. And then we have 8/9 of 105. So 8 divided by 9 times 105 gives us 93.33. So all together 93.33 and 81.69 gives us 175.02 minutes. Looking at route B, 70 minutes. So 2/6, add 2/6 to regular journey time. So 2/6 of 70, 2 divided by 6 times 70 gives us 23.33, which we're going to add to the 70 minutes. So 23.33 add 70, that gives us 93.33. And then we've got 1/5 of 70. So 1 divided by 5 times 70 gives us 14. 14, which is added to the regular journey time, which is 70. So plus 70 gives us 84. So 84, add the 93.33 gives us 177.33 minutes. That's route B. Route C, 60 minutes normally. So add 42%. So that is 42%, that is 0.42 as a decimal, of the 60. So 0.42 times 60 gives us 25.2. Which we're going to add to the 60 minutes. plus 60 gives us 85.2. And then the way back, add 28%. So 28%, that is 0.28 times the 60. Gives us 16.8. On top of the 60, so that is 76.8. Add that to the 85.2 gives us 162. So, which one is the smallest? That's this one, 162 minutes. So that is root C. Which of the following is greater? 3/8 of 1000 or 5/12 of 900? Show your working out and write the answer in the box below. So 3/8 of 1000, so times 1000 gives us 375. So what I did was 3 divided by 8 times 1000, and that gives us 375. And we've got 5/12 of 900, so 5 divided by 12 times 900. That is 375 as well. So they are the same, they're equal. Work out 5 3/4, take away 1 1/8. So we could do this without a calculator. Let's just focus on 3/4 and 1/8. Common denominator can be 8 for both. So to get from 4 to 8 we've doubled, so we double the 3 as well to get 6. And we keep the other fraction as it is. So 6 take away 1 gives us 5. So 5/8. Whole numbers now, we've got 5 take away 1, which is 4. So 4 and 5/8 is the answer. Calculate 1 3/4 plus 2 4/5. So common denominator for these two can be 20. To get from 4 to 20, multiply by 5. So we'll do the same to the top number. 3 times 5 is 15. To get from 5 to 20, we multiply by 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. 15 and 16, that is 31/20. So that's more than 1. So that's more than 20/20. 31, take away 20. That gives us 11/20. So this is equal to 1 and 11/20. So we've got 1 and 2, which is 3, and the 1, that is 4. So 4 and 11/20 would be the answer. And this is the end of the questions.